Most people believe that if you struggle to make friends, something must be wrong with you, that you're too awkward, too quiet, or simply not likable enough. But what if the real reason has nothing to do with your personality at all, and everything to do with how your mind learned to protect you? Think about the moments you've walked into a room full of people, felt your chest tighten, your thoughts scatter, your words disappear. You watch others laugh effortlessly, connect instantly, while you stand there rehearsing a simple sentence in your head only to say nothing. Later, you replay it all. What you should have said, how you looked, why you felt invisible, and slowly, you begin to believe a quiet story that maybe you just don't belong. But here is something most people never realize. Psychologically, humans are wired for connection. Yet the same brain that seeks belonging is also designed to protect us from rejection. And sometimes, that protection becomes the very thing that isolates us. The struggle to make friends is rarely about social skill. It's about hidden patterns running beneath awareness, patterns shaped by past experiences, subtle fears, and the way you interpret the world. For some, it begins with a quiet sensitivity. You notice everything: tone of voice, facial expressions, small shifts in energy. While others move freely, you are constantly scanning, analyzing, adjusting. And this awareness, while powerful, becomes exhausting. It makes every interaction feel like a performance. For others, the struggle comes from early experiences where connection felt uncertain. Maybe you were misunderstood. Maybe you felt judged. Maybe you learned that being fully yourself didn't always feel safe. So your mind adapted. It became cautious, careful, reserved. Not because you lacked the ability to connect, but because some part of you learned that connection comes with risk. And then there is overthinking, the silent barrier that turns simple conversations into complex puzzles. You think about what to say, how to say it, how it will be received. And by the time you're ready, the moment has already passed. What looks like quietness on the outside is often a mind moving too fast on the inside. But perhaps the most overlooked reason is this. Many people who struggle to make friends are not disconnected. They are deeply selective. They crave meaningful connection, not surface-level interaction. And in a world that often moves quickly, this depth can feel like distance. So the question is not, why can't you make friends? The question is, what has your mind been trying to protect you from all along? At some point, you may start to see it differently. The problem was never that you were incapable of connection. The problem is that you've been trying to connect while carrying invisible weight. The fear of being misunderstood, the habit of analyzing every detail, the quiet belief that you need to be better before you can belong. But what if none of that is actually required? What if connection doesn't come from performing, but from allowing yourself to be seen, even imperfectly? This is where everything begins to shift, because making friends is not about becoming someone else. It's about removing what has been holding you back from being who you already are. And that starts with something simple but uncomfortable. Letting go of the idea that every interaction has to go perfectly. What if a pause in conversation isn't failure, but space? What if awkwardness isn't something to avoid, but something that makes you human? When you stop trying to control every outcome, something unexpected happens. You become more present, and presence is what people actually connect with. Then there is the way you see yourself. If you walk into every interaction believing you are not enough, your behavior will quietly reflect it. You will hold back, speak less, hide parts of yourself. But if you begin to shift that internal narrative, even slightly, your external world begins to change. Not instantly, not dramatically, but gradually. Because people respond not just to your words, but to the energy behind them. And finally, consider your environment. Not every space is designed for real connection. Sometimes the issue is not you, it's where you are trying to belong. When you place yourself in environments that align with your interests, your values, your pace, connection becomes more natural. Less forced, more real. So instead of asking, why is this so hard? Ask something different. Where do I feel most like myself? Because friendship does not grow where you feel the need to shrink. It grows where you feel safe enough to expand. And maybe, just maybe, the struggle you've been carrying is not a sign of weakness, but a sign that you were never meant for shallow connection in the first place. In the end, the people who struggle to make friends are often the ones who feel the deepest when they finally do, and that changes everything. Because the goal was never to have more connections. It was to have real ones. And real connection begins the moment you stop trying to be accepted and start allowing yourself to exist as you are.